All right, we'll come back here. Last segment in 3, 2, and 1. Talking Cougar athletics with the head coach and athletic director at Columbia College, Bob Burchard. A new boss for you, Dr. Scott Dalrymple, the new president at Columbia College. I know you were involved in the when we filmed this on Wednesday. He was on campus and made his official introduction to the school, and he's from everything we talked about. He's a big volleyball fan, number one, and first of all, talk a little bit about his impact being the new president, and what do you think the relationship with the athletic department will be with the new prez?
Well, I think first, everybody's extremely excited. You know that there is a transition always in leadership when you have a presidential change. We haven't had one in 18 years, and Dr. Bruder has been such a godsend for our campus. Dr. Ruthenberg before him, was the person that hired Faye and I to Columbia College, and certainly we enjoyed Dr. Ruthenberg and Dee a great deal. And so now we have the next phase. Daisy Grossnickel, our chair of the board, really organized a great search. It was a national search. There was no inside person, ready to go, and sometimes that's a tough thing to do when really there's no somebody in mind or next in line, and so we had great candidates on campus, and the board wisely chose Dr. Dalrymple for all of the attributes he brings to a place like Columbia College. Obviously, the campus is very excited, and I think anytime you're in an interim, I think people are anxious to get things settled and move on, and I think we now are in that position. Both candidates that we had on campus spoke very highly of athletics, and were very student oriented. I think Dr. Dalrymple is a very, very student oriented. I would expect to see him on a lot of our events and out here on campus. He did say he loved volleyball and loved high-level volleyball. And I said, well, we got a lot of that. So, and loved to play, loved to participate. So he and his wife, another Dr. Dalrymple, Tina, who actually serves on athletics committee at Hartwick College, where she's a professor. So I think there's a great connection there, and we look forward to having them join the Cougar family.
And the growth of the Cougar family, both team-wise and student athletes, has grown obviously over the last several years. And one of those things is with the softball complex off field right now out at Timmy Blackfield as Wendy Spratt gets her team geared back up. Another group of returning. I think the entire infield is back for the first time in several years, and a lot of that, the talent from local here from Jefferson City. What is the long-term plan? Is there still a goal of hopefully getting a softball field back on campus? Is that something that's in the running?
I think our master plan has it right here on our side of range line, and we're really looking forward to marching aggressively towards the completion of the campus master plan. That includes some changes to our soccer stadium as well, and some improvements there. One of the challenges that we always have had here is just our lack of green space land, and obviously we're right in a community, and so those things take a little bit of time, and hopefully that master plan, which has been approved, we can aggressively attack. And to be honest with you, I think we talked about leadership as well. I think once you get leadership settled, then you can really look towards that approach towards a master plan. It is a bit uncomfortable, I think, to have a team off campus, Cosmo. I think the softball team has done very well in handling that. Our relationship with the Columbia Parks and Rec has been really solid. They do a lot of work right here on our campus as well in our own facility, but they do have to move off to get in good practice and of course compete. I think the one thing we miss the most, to be honest with you, though, is just activity on the campus, physical on the campus. There's nothing better than a beautiful spring day. and to be able to walk outside in the sunshine and catch a ball game. And I think softball and baseball are pastimes that you can enjoy that. And I think we all miss being able to just sit out in the sun and maybe up on the bank, or the walkers by, maybe to stop and catch some innings before they have to move on to another class. And we look forward to getting back to that.
And there's certainly quite a bit of that. When the field was where the science building is now, you'd see a few perch out and catch a little break in between classes, or do some homework in the sun and duck a few home run balls. And you mentioned baseball, and I've been asked several times by other people, with knowing my involvement here at Columbia College with softball, if there's a long-term plan or a short-term plan or a dream of possibly adding baseball down the road at some point.
We have obviously aggressively changed the makeup of our department. We had a committee who worked for about 5 years on good fit sports for our campus, and the byproduct of that were the sports that we've added. And we've been extremely happy about number one, how quickly that we've gotten up and running and been competitive with those sports. We did leave some room for potential addition of a male sport. In our business, you always have to be wary of and aware of Title IX and the impact of adding any male sports to a department. We did leave some room in there, and multiple sports have been mentioned, and certainly baseball is one of those. I will add to that, though, in our last conversation, we will never have the field space for baseball within this area. So that certainly is a consideration, because they would have to be off of our campus for sure.
Most definitely. Well, before you know it, softball will be playing some games there out in Timmy Black. If you're not familiar in Columbia, and more on where that is on the website, ColumbiaCougars.com, again, as well as the schedule for all the basketball games as the Cougars come back home, and a busy month of February. Coach, good luck the rest of the way on these last 12 games, and before you know it, we'll be talking tournament time.
Thank you.
Coach Bob Burchard, Athletic Director as well at Columbia College. You've been watching the Cougar Coaches Show here on MediaCom Channel 22.